Oh no! Oh no! Oh, thank goodness, that's so much better. Health pool, damage, hitbox, heroic, Beth'tilac. TLDW, organized for two groups. Up group, tank, healers, melee. Ground group, tank, healers, ranged. Taunt, distract, death grip down the spinners. Up group goes on the webs. Tank goes first, healer goes second. Rest follow. Avoid meteor puddles. Fall down through the center hole when she runs out of energy and starts casting. Repeat this a total of 3 times. You, Zugboss, and sometimes adds until your web is available. GG, that's your job. Ground team. Position a few ranged as rugby players to tackle the engorged spiderlings as they come out of their designated holes. Kill priority for you. Spiderlings. Hanging spinners. Ground spinners. Drones. Ground tank. Face drones out from the raid group. Keep them away from the spiderlings. Repeat this for 3 up phases. Clean up every spiderling before the 3rd up phase ends. Phase 2. Raid stacks behind the boss. Tank's position at her 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. When your main tank gets Widow's Kiss, off-tank taunts immediately. Vice versa until she dies. GG. Now for the in-depth explanation and penalties for failing mechanics. When you start the encounter, she immediately retreats to her upper platform. While she is not actively attacking anybody, she will cast Venom Rain every 3 seconds. It'll be a little over 20 seconds before anyone can even go up there. Stack up and raid heal. 4 to 5, 25 man. 2 to 3, 10 man. Cinderweb spinners will spawn, sliding down from the web, hovering just above the ground. You will get 3 waves of these. 12 to 15 total on 25, 6 to 9 on 10. Every up phase. These can be taunted down, death gripped, distracting shot, unleash rock biter weapon. Any taunt effect will bring them down to you. This is beneficial for 2 reasons. Your melee can now beat the hell out of them, and it will prevent them from channeling Fiery Web Spin, a stun that lasts for as long as they are channeling it. Massively annoying and get them down on the ground. Or kill them if 10 seconds pass if they are still hanging. They will still randomly hit people with Burning Acid, but their melee attacks are so weak it's not even worth acknowledging. And the main reason for doing this off the rip, they produce a clickable web on the ground. Your character can vehicle to it and ascend to the upper platform. This lasts for a total of 15 seconds. If you're going up, don't miss out. If you are melee heavy, or your ground phase gets overwhelmed, you can leave some of your melee, preferably those with a taunt, with the ground team to assist with handling and cleaning up the ads. The up phase, not a lot to it. Every 5 seconds, Beth'tilac will pulsate Ember Flare to everyone on his platform. Mild fire damage to heal through. Every 18 seconds, the boss will cast a meteor. This travels down to the ground over the course of 5 seconds. When landing at a location, it'll do meteor burn. This is very minimal damage if you are standing underneath it. The threatening aspect of it is the graphic it leaves behind is now a hole in the platform. Following through it will likely do more than half of your health and damage when landing. On top of taking the periodic prior, you are likely to die if this happens. These holes last for over a minute. On the boss's UI, you will notice an energy bar, starting at 8,000, going down by 100 every second. When this energy bar reaches 0, the boss will commit to an 8-second cast called Smoldering Devastation. This pulsates AoE 5 times, generating 20% of its energy. And if you're on the platform as this is going off, you're going to die. So your exit strategy is to go to the center hole in the web, which will prevent you from taking fall damage, and then returning in the same fashion you did in the first up phase, when the next wave of spinners is brought down. Feel free to help with the ads until your web is available. And now for the ground team. You want to position some range at the spawn locations of the spiderling. An engorged spiderling will come out of one of them. If your character model meets its character model, it explodes where it is. Otherwise, it'll go to the person that it physically has a tether to, exploding when it reaches them. You want to avoid this because it's just annoying. The puddle produces lasts for about half a minute, slows and does damage over time while anyone is in it. Your kill priority after the initial spinners, as they are the only thing initially, will be the Cinderweb Spiderlings. These are top priority to slow and kill. If these reach a drone, the drone will consume them with a 4-second cooldown. Regain 20% of its health and do 20% more damage. This buff is permanent and can stack indefinitely. They also lunge and apply a dot to anyone within 6 yards of them. On that note, after the last wave of Cinderweb spinners spawn, and every minute to follow, a Cinderweb drone will spawn. This also spits acid at random people. It has a frontal that does significant damage, and your tank should keep it faced away. And if alive for a significant amount of time, it'll fixate random people. This fixate reduces its physical damage by 75%, making it not a big deal to tank, but this causes his dictation to potentially be manipulated in a way that is unfavorable. If you target somebody who's in the path of spiderlings, you see where the issue comes up. You can heal. As the ground team, you kill a total of 9 waves of spinners, whatever amount your difficulty size gives you, a boatload of spiderlings, and about 5 drones. By the end of the 3rd up phase, it is imperative that you kill, in the very least, all the spiderlings, as the boss has their own version of Consume, which will replenish their health by 10% per consumption, negating the majority of the damage that your up group was doing, if left unchecked. Welcome to Phase 2. Now everyone gets to experience what it's like to be up on the up phase, minus the meteor. You all stack up, in the form of a nuke symbol, with your raid at the bottom, your main tank at the top left, and your off tank at the top right. Every 5 seconds, she will pulsate, Ember Flare, as well as gain a buff of Enrage. This increases all the damage she does by 5% per stack, which means Ember Flare will increment over time, doing 5% more with each pulse. She has a tank taunt mechanic called the Widow's Kiss. This is a debuff that lasts for a total of 24 seconds. Upon application, it has a timed tick. It reduces all healing taken by 10%. Every 2 seconds, that increases by 10%, until it caps out at 100, to which your tank sits there unhealable for 4 seconds before it completely falls off. In addition to this, anyone within 10 yards of the tank will take pulsating fire damage. This is why you have tanks in 2 different locations. Your tanks wax on and wax off as she applies this. Your raid zugs down the boss. And that is the entirety of the encounter. Little excerpts. There is no shame in spoiling your ground team. If you need more help on the ground team, put more help on the ground team. If you're going for the parse, obviously you want her to be as close to death as you can by the time she gets to Phase 3. And the additional question, is this solo tankable? Sadly, no. You can solo tank the boss in the last phase, rolling cooldowns. You're going to need somebody to tank the drone on the down phase, though. You can't be in 2 places at once, so rip. You can kind of cheese transition acid rains with the Shadow Priest, dispersing devastation, and then jumping down after she gets active. Pally bubbles don't work. Did not get to test this much on PTR, so potential fun for you at launch. Okay, now that is the Spooder. I forgot to add that the drone can go up and sap Beth'tilac's strength if it runs out of energy, which is 100 seconds. It is unlikely to happen unless your group is absolutely failing at keeping the spiderlings away from the drone. It just makes her up phases push quicker. They suck until they're full and then they come back down. Thanks for watching. Thank you to my Patreons. Here's the stuff I use, links to my Twitch and Patreon, and I will see you again soon. TM.